Also, just picking your brain here for a little bit. On like a
Oh
scale
boy.
of 1 to 10, with 10 being super messed up and 1 being heaven on earth, how messed up do you think society is today compared to the rest of human history?
It's got to be less than five, at five or less, maybe four.
I put it at probably a 1, or if
I
even a
mean,
1.
it's pretty bad, but it's not like, I
I don't
mean,
think
it's
it's bad
been
at
way
all.
worse.
I mean, there's things that are bad, but I'd say compared to the rest of human history, there's probably never been a better time to be alive. The reason that it seems worse is because we just see more of the bad. Like, you might have heard of autism seeming to be on the rise when it's really just an increase in the diagnosis of it, but it's really just a matter of us noticing it more. Like, you know how media sensationalizes news stories to get clicks on their websites and stuff?
Oh
Like
yeah.
that's they sell sensationalism. That's how we are. Like another condition of our psyche as it is we have a inclination to pay attention to things that are macabre or grotesque or brutal. Like those are things that captivate us. So when we see it, we want to share it and we want to see it firsthand. People, by and large, in the past several 100,000 years, our psychology has really not changed much. We just have access to more data. So it's not that there's more bad now than there was. If we look at statistics like murder rate and things like that, it's gone. It's probably the lowest that it has ever been, as far as we've been keeping track by a very wide margin. It's really more of us just seeing it more.
Here's a some statistics our producer just shot over. Okay, so murder and non-negligent manslaughter recorded in 2022 estimated nationwide decrease of 6.1%. That's great. In 2022, the estimated number of offenses in the revised rate category saw an estimated 5.4 decrease. Heck yeah. Aggravated assault in 2022 decreased by an estimated 1.1%. That's great. Robbery showed an increase of 1.3 nationally. But overall, if you look at those four categories, robbery, assault, and manslaughter, there's a huge decrease, which is really good.
That's what
Um,
I'm saying. It's a
and and and
it's
and
it's
that's
not
great.
that it's not that
That's
there's
great
more.
information to know. But when you look at, like me, I feel compelled that I have to carry my gun everywhere I go because the crime rates are so friggin' high. And I travel. As you know, I travel, right? I travel a lot. And
You
here,
think the crime rates are high? I mean, we kind of just looked at the statistics.
well, every third night in my neighborhood, there's cars getting broken into. I'm saying where
Someone
I'm at.
someone was murdered like right outside my apartment, like a couple, like not even a year ago, like in the parking lot, like literally 30 minutes after I left for work. But I don't feel compelled to bring a gun around with me. It's not because I don't have any regard for my life. It's just or I don't think something, or I have no reason to think something like that would happen to me, or not because I think my family wouldn't miss me or anything like that. But just bad shit happens, and that's just part of life, And I'm
Well, it is bad shit does happen, and it's part of life. But if I can protect my life from that bad shit happening to me by carrying a gun, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be prepared. If I see people out here just getting robbed, I mean, we had a guy a couple years ago, a delivery driver at Walmart. He was sitting in his truck. Walmart was unloading his truck. Guys come up and shot him with a shotgun and took his wallet and got $17. Just shot and
as I
killed him
said,
in the cab of his
as I
truck.
said, bad shit happens, but
Yeah,
I just don't want to spend any of my life living in fear of what could happen, because at any point, I mean, meteorites hit the ground all the time, and I could be struck by a meteorite from space that could kill me instantly at any time. I could have a brain aneurysm at any time. I could be having a
you
brain
could.
aneurysm right now.
There's so many things that could happen, right?
So
That could take your life. But if you,
why do you not
because
spend
I'm
your
not
time
going to be
worrying
the
about?
victim. I'm not going to let myself be the victim of some asshole who's trying to be greedy and get something.
Sure,
If you come
and
at me, you're going to get it. Okay. 4 years ago, I shot a guy, and this is no lie. He had stolen stuff from a couple $1,000s worth of fishing gear off my boat. 2 nights later, caught up with him, coming back trying to steal again. Chased him. There was a physical fight. He broke away, and it wasn't just me. Another resident, we opened fire on him, and we hit him at least once because there was a blood trail. It took 2.5 hours for the cops to show up. Mm-hmm. 2.5 hours. After
I'm not going to make an argument at all that you shouldn't, but what I'm saying is, like, any number of bad things can happen. If I really wanted to be safe, what I would do is I would buy a bunker in the middle of the woods, and I would just be safe from anything that's preventable, and I would just live out my days there,
Yeah, but then you have no life.
That's what I'm saying.
My point is, like, I carry my gun as a form of self-defense.
I mean, that's fine. I can't fault you for that.
Just like carrying a pocket knife.
I'm not at all saying that you shouldn't, but the reason that I don't is because, like, I know the odds of it happening to me are, I don't want to say slim to none, because I know plenty of people do get murdered.
I think you should carry a gun with you at all times. I think every American who has a moral character such as yours should have a weapon on them at all times, if not to protect themselves, to protect anybody around them when some dirty shit is going down.
I guess maybe one day I might change my mind on that, but for now, I'm
going to buy you a gun as a gift.
I feel like for now, it's just kind of a bit of a waste. Like, I just don't want to spend any of my time even worrying or even considering it. So the producer posed a question. He says, do you think the mainstream media has instituted a state of fear among the general populace due to the sensationalizing stories of crimes committed?
I think that the mainstream media is doing. Of course, right, they report on crimes that they want to report on. I think that's a well-known fact.
I'd agree with that.
What I am sick of hearing is, when I hear about a crime, I don't care what your race is. I don't care if the victim or the perpetrator was black or white. What I see is bad person did this, good person got hurt. That's what I see. Mm-hmm. I don't care what race you're is. And it seems like anytime you open up a newspaper or a media website or look at anything, race is always right there in your face almost every single time. If you could show me one major crime that happened in the last 2 years that does not talk about race, I would be surprised. And I don't mean small town, somebody robbed a freaking convenience store, okay? I'm talking about almost every time you open up the newspaper, that's what it is. The media is there to report on crime. I expect them to report on crime. They can report on the crimes that they deem are important. The media, to me, it doesn't institute a state of fear. Now, to other people, it may, right? It might. There's a lot of people out there. I'm just going to call it what it is. There's a lot of, and they see something and they freak out and they get, I got people on our neighborhood page who get all bent out of shape because a kid, 11-year-old kid cut through their yard. And they're calling it a crime and saying, next time I'm going to call the police. The kid's freaking 11 years old. He's cutting through your yard trying to get home, playing with his friends. That's not a crime. You wouldn't see that in the newspaper, right? But there's people out there who would consider something so silly as a crime. So when they see something like, oh, Circle K got robbed or man killed in drug deal gone wrong, oh my God, I got to move. I'm selling my house. It happens all the time. I mean, we broke our houses out of this place all the time because people are so terrified. If you come out of my neighborhood, make a left, you go 3/4 of a mile, you're in the hood. Okay. You're not like approaching the bad. You're in the hood, the ghetto. Okay. Now that's one place. If I come out and make a left and I go down to that little store down there on the corner to get some beer or something, I don't carry my gun down there. And that's the hood. Okay. I don't have to carry my gun down there. You know why? Because I'm friends with most of those guys down there. Not because I'm hanging out in the hood, because we're cool with each other. And if something was going down, nobody down there is going to mess with me. And if something was going to happen, there's 20 homies packing a gat. They're going to cover my ass. Now, if I come out and make a right and want to go down all the way on the other side, which is not in the hood, I carry my gun every time. When I go into Kroger, I carry my gun every time. It's not so much to protect me. I mean, yes, it's to protect me, but say I'm in that store and something's going down, I might could protect that clerk or those other customers in that store. You know, I'm thinking about more than just my own protection. I would give my life for anybody that was in danger at any time.
And I
It's
believe
not so
that.
much. It's not so much just about me, but if I have that opportunity to protect somebody else, I mean, why not? Why not be one of those guys? Why not be able, at least willing and able to try to stop something bad from happening? That's why one of the main reasons why I carry a gun with me everywhere I go.
I guess maybe to expand on that question a little bit, you mentioned earlier that it seemed like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like you were insinuating that the world is pretty messed up and it seems like people are giving less of a shit and there's like more violence and more crime now until we showed statistics showing that it was the opposite. Do you think that?
So
Oh, sorry.
I'll change my rating from a 4. I would still say it's at a 2, given the war that's going on across the world.
That's fair. And maybe I'm being naive when I say that it's a 1, but when I look at, I mean, history really hasn't been that nice to anyone anywhere. I mean, we're not living in, places that were under Mongolian control, where we'd have like Genghis Khan coming in and cutting everyone's heads off and piling bodies higher than all the buildings and stuff. Like there's stories of people coming back to their home village after being, or not their home village, coming to their large towns after being away for long periods of time, and they see what they think are mountains, but it's actually piles of bodies. Then we have
Jeez,
the
that's a lot of
unmentionable. Yeah, we have the unmentionable stuff of World War One, World War Two, and then we have the global flood where everyone on Earth died. Obviously, so I mean, considering the the history we've had, I'd say it's probably the best time to be alive.
Yeah, I know you have a firm belief that flood happened. No, you're right, and I didn't know the statistics, right? But so maybe going back to the other question, media. Yeah, I mean, maybe it does play a role. I think that social media in itself has sent this country kind of, I wouldn't say on a downward trend, but it's certainly changed the landscape of the world.